Hello, I'm Harry FleuTV, remember you don't have to. And the last time on Nostalgia Reactions, we reacted to 2 creepypastas narrated by Creepypasta. And by we, I mean I, the YouTuber, and you, the audience. And this time, we're going to be reacting to 2 creepypastas narrated by MrCreepyPasta. So the first one we're going to be reacting to is Smile Dog, or The Smile Dog. It's not actually the original story. This is the one I most remember. I might react to the original story at some point, but maybe not today. And the reason why it's all dark is because since we're reacting to creepypastas, I wanted to create a darker atmosphere. So, without further ado, the original links are in the description. Go subscribe to MrCreepyPasta and let's begin! Oh, and total side note, speaking of creepypastas, Non-Legal Studios is finally back after 5 months. So, if you want to go check out their newest video, go and subscribe to them, show them all the love and all the welcome back they deserve after what they've been through with Copper and the coronavirus. Without further ado, let's begin. I'm going full screen.
You've heard of Smile Dog, right? That terrifying picture of a husky smiling in a demonic way? Yeah, that one. Well, I was looking at internet memes and scary stories a few months ago. I stumbled across an urban legend video which I found interesting. I watched the video and it told of a few basic facts about spontaneous human combustion and sleep paralysis. The video also contained a couple of screamers to kill the mood a little. The end story was of Smile Dog. It simply presented the picture and told the viewer the legend. I researched it a bit more and found it to be terrifying but quite cool. I began talking about it to my friends in school the next day. It turned out something of a common interest. People would often use it jokingly, like...
Yeah, I remember first watching this video and then first saw the image and it freaked me out. I remember when I first saw the image of this Smile Dog in this video, 2 of them, and they terrified me. I think I even believed in the legend of Smile Dog and couldn't really sleep that night when I first discovered it. So this brings back so many memories. This was actually the first creepypasta I discovered when someone told me about what creepypasta is. And thus the legacy continues.
In a history lesson, our teacher told us, he collapsed on the floor. My friend leaned towards me and said, "I guess he saw Smile Dog." And it would often make us laugh. We then found other stories such as Red Mist or Squidward's suicide, Candle Cove. Then we dropped the subject of Smile Dog for a while after that. You know,
now, some people don't really like it when a creepypasta is referenced within a creepypasta, but I honestly think it's quite cool. So, come at me, creepypasta fans.
in our school we often talked to this boy, and his name was Michael. He was a strange child. He never spoke to us, and he would often keep to himself. He had no idea where he would be at
the
lunchtime.
image
He
is
wouldn't be hanging out
changing.
with us, but we found it not to be of our concern. He'd often leave lessons early to visit a hospital as he was a rather sickly child. He told me only a few of his afflictions, the most noticeable being epilepsy and schizophrenia. He never showed signs of these, though. If he mentioned them, he would often laugh it off and dismiss them. He approached me one day.
I can't look at that picture, man.
And inquired about Smile Dog. I replied, "Oh, that thing? Yeah, it's obviously fake." "Can I see it?" I didn't save it or anything. "But..." "Oh, just look it up, okay?" I was busy with homework at the time, and when people try to talk to me, I'm rather irritable. He walked off without looking back. But I didn't see Michael the next day. He was supposed to be in a few of our lessons, but he wasn't there. Nobody, not even the teachers, knew where he was. It was after our first lesson. I was called into the headmaster's office. The headmaster sat me down in front of his desk and told me, "Your friend Michael has been instated to a mental institution. He apparently saw something scary. He kept having visions of it.
Ugh.
Have you any idea what that might be?"
Jeffek Jane fan art. Creepypasta Lemon fan fiction, possibly. I'm sorry. I did it.
I immediately remembered Smile Dog. Yes, sir. The headmaster immediately brought up his computer, and I was faced with the Google search engine. I changed the search to images and typed in Smile Dog. I showed the headmaster the full, unedited image of Smile Dog. "Oh my," he said, and told me that Michael would probably want to see me. He immediately arranged for transport for me to the mental institute. I entered the colossal building with the headmaster, where we were stopped by a doctor. He said, "Michael only wants his friend, I'm afraid." The headmaster gave me a bewildered look, and I said, "That's fine. I'll see you in a few minutes." I strolled down the
I
hall
really hate it face.
and reached room 204.
I can't look at the face.
The room had a padded floor, a wall, and a light. No windows except a minuscule viewing slot through the door. I walked in and almost vomited.
Ew.
Michael was lying face down in the middle of the room with his hands still gripped tight on his neck. He was dead. There was a hastily scrawled note left next to him. It was for me.
"Josh, I saw that Smile Dog picture that you showed me. It's everywhere. No matter what we do, it can't be stopped. It appears in the brightest moments of your life. It'll always be marching, never moving. It will not go away. Why did they have to put me in this room? Why do I have to be trapped in this godforsaken room? I had no escape. No matter how much I kicked off, the doctors wouldn't believe me. This was the only way out, I guess. What if the
I love the voice actor voicing Michael in this story, because he actually sounds like a little kid just hit puberty. So, props to whoever voiced Michael in this story.
dog is still there during death? When you're weak or incapacitated, it'll drag you down to hell from where it once came. This is the reality, Josh. Do not ever mention Smile Dog to anyone ever again. Sincerely, Michael.
I pocketed the note and alerted the doctors. Upon further inspection of his body, his hand was blocking a horrifying, vicious bite into his neck.
Ooh.
The teeth marks matched that of a dog's. A Siberian husky.
Now whenever I think of Smile Dog and stuff like this, I think of Freddy Krueger, so part of me thinks Smile Dog was inspired by Freddy Krueger. If he was, then let me know in the comments, because I'd really like to know. He seems like he was inspired by Freddy Krueger, where he haunts people's nightmares.
I keep going over and over that note in my head. I can't believe it. He was such a nice boy, and I regret every bad thing I ever said to him. Why did it have to end this way for him? There's a small part in my head saying that I'm responsible, and another portion of my head believes that this is all just fake, and I should have been more aware of Michael's afflictions. The only trouble is, I'm running out of options to believe here. And I didn't know that schizophrenia was contagious. But I keep seeing that damn little dog in the corner of my eye everywhere I go. It's starting to get on my nerves. Wait a minute. Is that... No.
Whoa.
I hear panting and scratching at my door. Let me go in bed.
I really don't like that howling sound effect.
Investigate. I'll be back in a second. Spread the word.
Wow. Pardon me if you can hear the noise on the background, like my little sister shouting. But, yeah, this story brings back so many memories. And I remember being terrified of the Smile Dog when I first discovered this story. And funnily enough, it was actually a teacher that told me about the Smile Dog. And, through research, when finding out about Herobrine, I discovered a video that mentioned the Jeff the Killer story, or at least the character, and I just looked it up because I thought it sounded interesting. Right, now this time we're going to be reacting to the Laughing Jack story. I'm kind of struggling which one to react to, the origin story or the present day story. But I decided to go with the present day story because the origin of Laughing Jack is like 44 minutes long, and yeah, the Laughing Jack story I'm going to react to is only 60 minutes long, so I'm going to react to the present day Laughing Jack because if I reacted to the origin story, then I think this video would nearly be an hour long, so I'm going to react to the one that's about 60 minutes long. Just buffering at the moment.
It was a nice summer day. My 5-year-old son, James, was playing outside in the backyard of our suburban home. James has always been a quiet boy. He plays by himself mostly. He never had many friends. But he's always had a wild imagination. I was in the kitchen feeding our dog Fido when I heard what sounded like James talking to someone in the backyard. I'm not sure who it could be that he was talking to. Could he have finally made a friend? Being a single dad, it's hard for me to always keep an eye on my son, so I decided to go outside and check on him. When I went out into the backyard, I was a bit confused because James was the only person back there. Was he talking to himself? I could have sworn I heard another voice. James! It's time to come inside! I called out to him. He came inside and sat down at the kitchen table. It was about lunchtime, so I decided to make him a turkey sandwich. James, who are you talking to out there? I asked. James looked up for a moment. I was playing with my new friend, he said, smiling. I poured some milk and continued to pry, as any good father would. Does your friend have a name? Why didn't you, ask him to have lunch with us? I asked. James stared at me for a moment before replying. His name is Laughing Jack. I was a bit taken aback by what he said. Oh? That's a strange name. What did your friend look like? I asked, a bit confused. He's a clown. He has long hair and a big swirly cone nose. He's got long arms and baggy pants with striped socks. He always smiles. I realized my son was talking about an imaginary friend. I suppose it was normal for kids his age to have imaginary friends, especially when he has no real kids to play with. Probably just a phase. The rest of the day went as usual, and it was starting to get late, so I put James to bed, tucked him in, gave him a kiss, and made sure to turn on his nightlight before I closed the door. I was pretty tired myself, so I decided to go to bed not long after. I had an awful nightmare. It was dark. I was in some kind of a run-down amusement park. I was scared, running through an endless...
Wow, I remember. Tell me in the comments the music that's playing in the scene at the moment. Because I'd really like to know. I've been trying to search for that song and I've never really found it. So someone tell me the song in this scene and what it's called. I'll be sure to put a timer in here so you know which scene I'm talking about.
This field of empty tents, broken down rides, and abandoned game huts. The whole place had a horrible look to it. Everything was black and white. The prized stuffed animals all hung from nooses in the game huts, all with sick grins stitched into their faces. It felt like the whole park was looking at me, even though there wasn't any living thing in sight. And then suddenly I began to hear music play. The sounds of Pop Goes the Weasel being played on a squeak box echoed through the park. It was hypnotizing. I followed its tune to the circus tent almost in a trance, unable to stop my legs from moving forward. It was pitch black. The only light came from a single spotlight shining on the center of the big top. As I walked towards the light, the music slowed down. I found myself singing along, unable to stop. All around the mulberry bush, the monkey chased the weasel. The monkey thought 'twas all in fun. And the music stopped right before its climax. And suddenly, the light shot on. The intensity of the light was practically blinding. All I could see was a small dark silhouette shuffle towards me. Then another one appeared. And another. And another. There was a dozen of them, all coming towards me. I couldn't move. My legs were frozen, and all I could do was watch as the haunting figures drew near me. They were children. As I looked at each one, I noticed that they were all horribly disfigured and mutilated. Some had cuts all over their bodies, others were severely burned, and others were missing limbs, even eyes. The children enveloped me, clawing at my flesh, dragging me to the ground, and tearing inside me. As the children tore me apart, and I faded away, all I could hear was laughter. Horrible, evil, awful laughter. I woke up the next morning in a cold sweat. After taking a few deep breaths, I looked over and saw that a few of James's action figures were positioned facing me on the top of my nightstand. I sighed. James had probably woken up early and put these here. I gathered up the toys, made my way over to James's room. However, when I opened the door, James was sound asleep. I just shrugged and placed the toys back in his toy box, headed out to the living room. A little while later, James woke up and I made him breakfast. He was quiet, seemed a bit groggy. Perhaps he didn't sleep very well. I decided to ask him about the toys. And James, honey, did you put the toys in Dad's room this morning? His eyes shot up at me for a moment, and then quickly glanced down at his cereal. Laughing Jack did it. I I rolled my eyes and responded, "Well, you tell Laughing Jack to keep the toys in your room." James nodded and finished up his breakfast. Then decided,
Yeah, total side note, I hate clowns, and yeah, I enjoy the story. So what really guns me and it kicks me off is when people go and romanticize the clown. Okay, make Jeff the Killer sympathetic. Make, I don't know, Kiki Kobe a little bit attractive. But why would you make Laughing Jack attractive? How do you make a clown attractive? Clowns are creepy. Like, what do you people see in them? Why do you romanticize them and glorify them and make them look pretty and attractive? That's just wrong. Like, I've seen fan art of Laughing Jack with no shirt on and with an emo fringe. Like, no, that's not Laughing Jack. Laughing Jack is a creepy clown with mythological powers. He's not supposed to be cute and romantic. Neither is Jeff the Killer for that matter. So people, please stop making creepypastas look attractive. Yes, make Jeff the Killer sympathetic. Make even Laughing Jack sympathetic after reading his origin story. But stop glorifying them and stop making them all cute and anime weeaboo looking. That's just wrong.
to go out and play in the backyard.
And I know what I said in that video to stop hating on Creepypasta fangirls, but in truth, some of them aren't that bad. The only time fangirls are bad is when they romanticize murder and make some creepypastas look more attractive than they're supposed to be. Because their stories can get creative when they want to be. And plus, I was young back then. So, you can excuse me for that. I was young back then. I might delete that video because, I don't know, that wasn't very good. And I don't know, should I delete that video or not? Tell me what you guys think. I might actually keep the video because I still stand by my word to stop hating on Creepypasta fangirls because, like, sometimes they can do good for Creepypasta. Like, sure, they can get weird, like, why are Musky and Hoodie eating cheesecake and making out, and why is Kiki Kobe a hyperactive 12-year-old? That, and why are Jeff the Killer and Laughing Jack attractive? That's where I draw the line. But sometimes, the Creepypasta obsessive fans could be quite creative with their characters. I'm gonna refer all fangirls and fanboys as obsessive fans so that it makes it fair when I'm talking about all the obsessive fans. There are obsessive fanboys too. I should know because I was one. Back to the video.
I went to relax in the living room and must have dozed off because I woke up a couple hours later. Shit! I need to go check on James. I was a bit worried that it had been over 2 hours and I hadn't checked on him. I stepped out into the backyard, but James wasn't there anymore. Oh, I was getting nervous, so I called him out. James! James, where are you? Just then, I heard a giggle coming from the front yard. I rushed to the gate and around the front of the house. James was sitting on the sidewalk. I breathed a sigh of relief and walked over to him. James, how many times have I told you to stay in the back? James, what are you eating? James looked up at me and then reached into his pocket and pulled out a handful of hard candies in all colors. This made me very nervous. James, who gave you that candy? James just stared at me, not speaking. James, tell Dad who gave you that candy. James hung his head low and said, Laughing Jack gave it to me. My heart sunk. I knelt down and looked him in the eye. James, I've had enough of this damn Laughing Jack thing. He's not real. Now, this is a very serious situation. I need to know who gave you that candy. I could see my son's eyes tearing up. But Dad, Laughing Jack did give me the candy. closed my eyes and took a deep breath. James had never lied to me, but what he's telling me is impossible. I made him spit out the candy and throw the rest away. James appeared to be fine. Maybe I'm just overreacting. After all, he could have gotten it from Tom and Linda from next door, or Mr. Walker down the street. Either way, I'm going to have to keep a close eye on James. That night, I put James to bed as usual and decided to go to bed early myself. Suddenly, I was awoken by a loud bang coming from the kitchen. I sprung out of bed and hurried down the stairs. When I got to the kitchen, I was horrified. Everything on the counters had been thrown to the floor. Our dog Fido hung dead from the light fixture.
Okay, now this is the only problem I have with the Laughing Jack story. I've never had any problem with either Laughing Jack story. I know a lot of people seem to hate them, but I've never really had a problem with them. But the only problem I have with the Laughing Jack story, this one, is that the dog, and many people agree that the dog was brought in just to simply get off. So that's the only issue I have with the story now. I will talk about my issues I have with the origin of Laughing Jack, but I'll save that for a separate video.
His stomach was cut open and stuffed with candy.
Oh.
Same type that James was eating earlier that day. The shock was quickly broken by a sharp scream coming from James's room, followed by loud crashes. I quickly grabbed the knife from the drawer and moved up the stairs with a speed that only a father whose child was in danger could have. I burst through the door and flicked on the lights. Everything in the room was knocked over and tossed to the floor, and my poor son was in his bed crying and shaking with fear. A pool of urine stained the sheets. I scooped up my child and ran out of the house, went next door to Tom and Linda's house, and luckily they were still awake. They let me use the phone to call the police. It didn't take them long to arrive, and I explained what happened. They looked at me as if I was crazy.
By the way, let me know, whenever you read a Laughing Jack story, like a fictional one or either of the two stories written by the original author, let me know which Laughing Jack voice you picture in your head. Snuff Bomb's version, like the original version that Snuff Bomb voices, or Mr. Becky Kruger's version that he voices on his channel. Tell me which voice you use as your headcanon Laughing Jack. Because I'd really like to know. Because I personally use Snuff Bomb's version. Oh. But I'd like to know which voice you picture in your head whenever you read or listen to a Laughing Jack story. Either in fan fiction or actual horror written by another author. Or the original.
They searched the house, but all they found was the dead dog and 2 trashed rooms. The officer told me that someone had probably gotten into the house and done this right before making a quick escape, when they heard me coming up the stairs. I knew it wasn't true. All the doors were locked. None of the windows were open. Whatever was in my house didn't come from outside. The next day, James stayed inside. I didn't want him to leave my side. I went to the garage, found my old baby monitor, and set it up in his room. If anything comes into his room tonight, I was going to be able to hear it. I went to the kitchen, grabbed the largest knife from the drawer, put it on my nightstand. Imaginary friend or not, I'm not letting anything hurt my little boy. And soon enough, night came. I put James to bed. He was afraid, but I promised him that I wouldn't let anything hurt him. I tucked him in, gave him a kiss, turned on the nightlight, and before closing the door, I whispered to him, "Good night, James. I love you." I tried to stay up as long as I could, but after a few hours, I felt myself drifting off. My baby would be safe for the night, and I needed to sleep. And just as I laid my head down on the pillow, I heard a soft noise come from the baby monitor that I had put on my nightstand. At first it sounded like interference, like the kind a radio would make. Then it turned into a soft moan.
Ew.
The Was James asleep?
Soft moan. Whoa. FBI, open up.
Then I heard it. The laugh from my nightmare, that horrible laugh. I sprung up from the bed and grabbed the knife from under my pillow. I rushed over to James's room and creaked the door open. I tried the light switch, but it wouldn't come on. I took a step in and I could feel the warm, thick liquid on my feet. Suddenly, James's nightlight came on and I could see... I could see the absurd horror laid out in front of me. James's body was nailed up on the wall. The nails pierced through his hands and feet, and his chest was cut wide open, and his organs hung down to the floor. His eyes and tongue had been removed along with most of his teeth, and I was disgusted. I could hardly believe that this was my baby boy. Then I heard it again. That soft, desperate moan. God. James was still alive. My baby, my poor boy, in such pain, could barely cling to life, and I ran across the room and I vomited on the floor, but my sickness was interrupted by a horrible cackle coming from behind me, and I spun around, and while I was still wiping bile from my mouth, then out of the shadows emerged the fiend responsible for the horror. Laughing Jack. His ghost white skin and matted black hair hung down to his shoulders. He had piercing white eyes surrounded by black rings. His twisted smile revealed a row of sharp, jagged teeth, and his skin didn't look like skin at all. It almost looked like rubber or plastic. He wore a patchy black and white clown outfit with striped sleeves and socks. His body itself was grotesque. His long arms hung down past his waist. The way he was poised made him look almost boneless, like a rag doll. He let out a sickening laugh as if to let me know that he was pleased with my reaction to his work. I turned around slowly in front of James and began to laugh even more at the horrific sight that he laid out. That was enough to shake me from my terror, and I snapped, "Get away from him, you bastard!" I rushed at the monster, raised the knife above my head, and stabbed down at him. But as soon as the knife touched him, he disappeared like a cloud of black smoke. The knife passed right through him and pierced James' still beating heart, splashing the warm blood on my face. No. What have I done? My baby. I've killed my baby. I immediately fell to my knees. I couldn't hear. I could hear sirens in the distance growing louder, and my boy, my sweet baby, I promise that Daddy would protect you, but I failed. I'm sorry, James. I'm so sorry. Police soon arrived and found me in front of my son, still wielding the knife covered in my baby's blood. And the trial was short. Insanity. I was placed in Ferropolis House for the Criminally Insane, where I had been for the past 2 months. It's not bad here. The only reason I'm awake now is because someone is playing Pop Goes the Weasel outside my window. I'll talk to the orderlies about it in the morning.
Well, that one certainly something. That was actually really creepy, I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, I have no problem with either Laughing Jack story. Like, I know a lot of people seem to hate them, and I can understand why some people might not like them, but I personally think they're really good. And like I say, I'm gonna save the origin of Laughing Jack for a separate video. I might make a separate video for that. And man, I miss Laughing Jack and Jeff the Killer and Smile Dog. I miss Creepypasta when it was scary, you know? That's one problem I have with non-Bleeding Studios and Creepypasta films. They just aren't scary. But I still love them, so there's that. That was actually really good, I'm not gonna lie, and tell me what you guys thought in the comments below. Do you hate Laughing Jack? Do you love the origin story and the present story? And which canon Laughing Jack voice do you use when you read either story or a Laughing Jack story written by a different author? Snuffbomb's voice or Mr. Betty Kruger's voice? Let me know in the comments. I'm Harry FleuTV. I remember, you don't have to.